All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to the clubhouse. Happy birthday, Sophie Walker.
Thank you very much.
You know what? It's a real pleasure you joining us on your birthday. You didn't have to do this.
I know, but when you call Rick, I come running.
Thank you for stepping in. I really appreciate it. We've just done a fantastic podcast for Tuesday talking about all things Olympics. What's interesting, though, just read what you've just mentioned there, Soph, about how much each medalist won from their actual represented country. So across the whole board, nobody actually makes money from the Olympics, do they? As in, the Olympics don't pay you money, but every country have their own rules and regulations. Didn't you say, is it Singapore that pays $250,000 for a gold medal?
Yep. So they're the big ones. In terms of the golf, Scotty Sheffler got $37,500 from the United States. Tommy Fleetwood got $0 from GB, and Hideki Matsuyama got $6,000. But just to protect and to stick up for GB, we invest in athletes, from potential through to winning golds. So they'll be invested in quite heavily. And Tommy would have received government funding when he represented England golf when he was younger.
Of course. A lot of Olympian GB athletes were thanking the National Lottery this week, I noticed. Thanks for covering your back there, though, Soph. We've also got Matt and Ben on the ones and twos. How are you, lads?
Very well, thank you.
Happy
birthday,
Friday.
Sophie.
Happy birthday, Sophie.
She's in two places at once at the minute, aren't you? Currently playing golf somewhere special today and on the podcast.
Royal Portrush. Happy birthday to me.
Wow.
If only all the subscribers of the channel could see such a wonderful golf course up close and in detail, Rick.
Well done,
any
Matt.
information on
Well
that.
done for bringing that segue in. He actually used you there. So he used you for views. This Friday, we have got a brand new video coming out from Royal Portrush. So before you play, which actually won't be out before you play, but either way, I played fantastic golf. But I don't think I'll ever be able to look at the 17th and 18th hole ever again the same way. They abused me. And I'd like to formally...
I'll get your own back.
Please. I'd like to formally complain about the 17th and 18th hole at Royal Portrush.
Quite
Certainly the
adventure,
17th. Certainly the 17th, the easiest par 4 possibly on the golf course, a downhill par 4 that quite often a lot of people drive the green.
I could have seen you getting on the green.
I did get on the green, but just definitely not in one shot.
Yeah, not in one.
I got on the green in the end.
Yes.
So yeah, that video is coming out this Friday. I've got a couple of questions that have come in. Okay, I think it's quite an interesting one as well to ask you, Soph. Jay Dowie has asked, if you're a tour pro, which you used to be a tour pro for many, many years, genuinely, what are you choosing? An LPGA tour win / PGA tour win, or an Olympic gold medal?
I would swap an Olympic gold medal for a regular tour event.
You would?
Oh, yeah.
Because of the money?
No, I'd want the gold.
Oh, you'd want the gold?
I'd want the gold. No, I'd want the gold.
Wow.
Because the chances are, if you're in the Olympics, you've probably already won one as well.
That's true.
Thinking about it that way.
What about, well, look at Tommy, for argument's sake, last week. Would you think he would have had if he'd have had a gold medal, would that be more satisfactory than a PGA Tour win, which he's yet to have?
I think he'd rather have a gold medal than a PGA Tour win. I think he would rather have a major than a gold medal at the moment.
Okay.
Tommy being the Open champion over a gold medal. Could see him doing that.
Yeah, I would definitely want. I mean, you get 4. To be honest, between now and the next Olympics, he gets 4 goes at winning the at the Open.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And the Masters.
He's actually got 16 goes at major tournaments before the very next Olympics. That's what's mad.
Can I ask you a question back?
Go for it.
Who's had the better
like that,
year? Scotty Sheffler or Xander Schauffele?
Did you read the next question?
No, is
I've
that
literally,
it?
Stuart Taylor has put,
go on, Stewie.
does Scotty's gold medal change the narrative of who's had the best year between him and Xander?
Well, I was walking down 16 fairway at Troon on the Sunday when Xander's going to win, and I was speaking to a guy called James Gregg who does a lot of PGA Tour coverage, and I said, who's had the better year. And he was like, Sheffler, obviously, he's got the players. He's won elevated,
Yeah.
events, the Masters. And I'm like, nah, 2 majors. When it comes 10 years' time, you're going to look and see 2 majors to 1 major. So I'm going with Xander. Now, I think Scotty Scheffler will be... He was always already very happy with his year. But that's going to be enough for him not to think, oh, I only won 1 major. Because I think it's going to be a point in the not too distant future, certainly in our lifetimes, where there'll almost be 5 majors. I think the gold medal will be that significant.
Once every 4 years. I think Scotty's had a much better year, even without the gold medal. I do. I just think he's won some of the most incredible golf events. But you're right, you've got to measure his success on majors. I think if Scotty hadn't have won majors, but Scotty's already won a decent amount of majors.
Seven
big tournaments now, hasn't he, this year?
Absolutely crazy.
And consecutively
on Sunday at Troon.
3.5 months.
Yeah.
On Sunday at Troon, I said Xander. But Friday after the Olympics, or during the Olympics, I'm going to say Scotty Scheffler.
He came out of nowhere last week. Gary Hinton. Okay. Hinton. What? This is not me asking it. What the hell is happening to Rory's game? What the hell?
What the hell?
Is that Rory's burner account?
Yeah, he wants to know. He wants to know some answers. To be honest, there's been a lot of questions about Rory's game. Someone else Paul Hollow has put, I love Rory, but is he the worst player in the top 20 for accuracy from 80 to 150 yards? Honestly, can't believe how many times he even misses the green from such a close range.
I'll say I disagree.
He does seem to either absolutely stiff it to the point where it looks like it's going to go in, or he does miss the green. I've noticed that, just watching. I don't know any stats, but he does seem from that range. My own opinion, regardless of whether it's right or wrong, he always looks like he's hitting a lot of, with not enough club and hitting it really hard. Yeah. Is my professional opinion on it. He
never looks comfy. Like at Troon, watching him trying to attack into the greens was tough to watch because you just weren't confident he was going to hit the green at all.
I think there's a cliche with Rory, isn't it? Oh, he's Irish, he grew up on links golf and he would like to play in this weather. He doesn't. He likes nice conditions, doesn't he?
He's lived in America for a long time, hasn't he? He hits the ball so high for links golf.
Yeah, I think it is hard to... It's really hard to criticise Rory McIlroy for his game. If he makes that putt, or one of those putts, things change differently. I honestly think that, what was it, a 2 foot 8 inch and then a 3.5 footer, 6 feet, has changed his whole year.
Yeah.
And that psychologically is a massive, massive blow. And we were talking about the Olympics, how important first, second and third is. But for Rory, it's only first. So as soon as first is out of the equation, his mojo goes, his mindset goes. That's got to be quite difficult to kind of play golf in that manner. Yeah, I think he's sold us all that, first few days of the Open in the press conferences, I'm like, I'm in. He's winning. He's winning. It's so hard for a golfer to try and flip that switch and make yourself believe. And I thought the loss to Bryson DeChambeau was going to affect him, and it has done. No question about it. It has to have affected him. But what the hell has happened to him? He's probably going to win 2 or 3 times more this year, isn't he? That's just Rory McIlroy. However, he's not as consistent as Scotty Scheffler. He's not as consistent as Xander Schauffele.
No.
And there is a time where we would say when Rory McIlroy plays his best golf, it's better than anyone else's in the world.
I don't know if it is anymore.
I don't know if it is anymore.
No.
And that shows the quality of other people as well.
You look at Scotty's game. I don't know if we've actually ever even seen Scotty Scheffler in first gear yet, or fifth gear, whichever way you think about it. Yeah. It always just seems like he's cruising to a 9 under par round Le Golf National last week.
Is that because the way he is round the course though? Because he just looks so relaxed, and he's just out there. Like, I saw Team USA put that picture of him, and it was like goals at the Olympics. It was just like to have fun, and he genuinely was just cruising, having a knock. It was just like, what?
Did you see those signs? I thought it was really telling. So they all had these signs up, and everyone was like, what do you want to achieve at the Olympics? And pretty much most of them said gold medal or win, or he's just said have fun. He's got just a different mindset to himself, and you know, now he's certainly sorted his putting out. He just looks unstoppable. Ben Bell has asked the question, is Scotty Scheffler's caddy the happiest man on the planet right now? He's done pretty well, hasn't he?
He has done very well as Ted Scott. He's unassuming, isn't he, Scotty Scheffler? I mean, this year, you think of... Everybody lacked interest in Scotty Scheffler. He had to win multiple times in a row for people to pay attention to them. And still he was, he's good, but he moves his feet a bit, and he doesn't look like the world beater. And then he gets thrown in jail, and we're invested, aren't we? I mean, what a year.
I loved that when that happened.
It was just...
We all love a bad boy.
Wasn't it?
I just like, what has happened? And then obviously he's had his first child. You know what I was just thinking then? Can you remember a single iconic shot that he's hit this year?
I was just about to say that shot on, was it 18 yesterday? You know, everyone's like sticking it in that rough, and even like Tommy struggling to hit the green on that approach shot. I think it was 18.
Yeah.
And Scotty stuck it in the rough stuff. I was thinking, here we go.
Yeah, and he's thinking he might lay up.
And he just like said, no thanks, I'll have a bit of that, and stuck it in the middle of the green. I was just like, oh my.
But it's not Tiger-esque, is it?
The only shot that comes to my mind is the playoff with him, the final round with him and what's the Australian guy? It's gone out of my head. In the Masters where he chipped in. Do you remember that in the final round?
Was that this year? Was that not last one he won? Oh, when he was against Cam Smith.
I'm just saying, like, in general, that's like the most iconic shot I can remember.
Yeah.
Is him chipping in.
Like he's done anything ridiculous.
I followed him on Saturday. Obviously, he didn't win at Troon. And I followed him on Saturday in that weather. And there was two shots that he hit on the back nine. He hit a 2-iron into the 11th, which was insane. So good. And then I was commentating on 17. And at this moment in time, you're trying to survive. So the thought of trying to club somebody and look for signals is, non-existent, because Ted Scott's trying to survive as well. And he stands on the 17th, and I say, it's 238 yards into the wind. They're trying to explain the wind. And the best way I could describe the wind was, I know that he was only carrying 2 woods. Yeah. It was driver or 3 wood. And I was like, oh my goodness, he's got 3 wood. It's 238. And it goes around the back of the hole. What impresses me so much about Scheffler is he misses birdie putt after birdie putt after birdie putt. And his next change on the scorecard is not a bogey. It's a birdie. It's like, I'll get one in the end and my patience will be enough. Whereas other players, you think, they've missed 3 birdie chances in a row, they're going to make bogey. And he just doesn't. I wish I'd watched him on the Sunday at Troon, because he would have won. I had all 3 days with him, and then he changed. But the levels of golf that he plays consistently, I mean, his bounce back ability is better than everyone else's. His bogey avoidance. If you look at his strokes gained approach, he's 0.6 shots better than the next best player. So that's 2.5 shots a tournament. It's absolutely incredible what he's doing, but it is unassuming. He doesn't fist pump, does he, like Tiger did?
That's what sets him apart, I think, from when you watch him against Rory. Say if they were playing in the same day, the same time together, if, like you say, Scheffler's missed a few birdie putts or whatever and tapped them in for par, he knows those birdies are coming. But then I could see Rory missing them, getting frustrated, just going for it, and it's either birdie eagle or quadruple, or just really blows up, doesn't he? Gets like so invested in it, and he's so sort of charismatic and
that's the difference in some players. Like, I followed Shane Lowry at the Open on the final day. He starts with a bogey in the first couple of holes. It's like, ugh. Then he holds a 50-footer, and you can feel it. And suddenly I'm invested as well. He's into it. It takes a player to hole a 50-footer to get up for it.
Yeah.
And it's an emotional roller coaster. Down 9, I'm like, he's going to win the Open. But you never feel like that with Scotty. There isn't that up and downness with him.
It's just level, isn't he? The
It's
whole
just
way?
level. But the level of his level is just... I would encourage anybody to just go and watch him, because up close, without them slowing down his footwork, it looks all right to me.
Yeah,
It's really good.
I've not seen a great deal of him live, but when I was at the range at Troon, I stood behind him for about 10 minutes, and he was just peppering his 7 irons to this flag, and just none of them moved. And I was like, really, really good.
But his swing's mint close up, isn't it? It's not like what people are trying to say.
His strike was fantastic. I think if every video camera was filmed him from the upper half, from his belt buckle up, he's got one of the greatest golf swings ever. And it's just like down impact of club and ball, it's incredible. What he does with his feet is unique, but it bloody works. This is an interesting one, and a question I want to ask you as well. While I'm asking you this, I do want you to think, is there any funny stories from this year you could tell us from any presenting work that you've done? But I'll answer this one first. Ant has put, does Rick ever get bored of playing golf? And I again think of it as asking you as well, because it's his job, and everyone has days when they can't be bothered. Other days where it feels like it's a bit of a chore having to go out and film around. Yeah, it does. Playing golf, as ridiculous as that seems to some people who might only play, once every couple of weeks, if you do play golf a lot of times, and I can imagine it on tour, like you'll get it. But it gets boring playing golf sometimes. You're like, I can't really be arsed today. Was that because you were on tour for 14 years, so?
Yeah.
There'd have been times where you're like, I just don't want to play today. Certainly maybe on a Sunday if you're nowhere near contention, or on a practice round or a pro-am or whatever.
I would say practice round to pro-ams would be more, I'm not bothered, rather than tournament. In tournament rounds, there's always a feeling of, let's go for this. But certainly Monday through to Wednesday, that's why so many tour pros go home. They fly out of there just for a change of scenery, rather than going on to another event and thinking, I'm just back on a golf course. I finished yesterday on Sunday, and I'm just back on a golf course on Monday, because it does feel like you're working 7 days a week. It is work in that respect. So yeah, absolutely, you can get bored of it. Funnily enough, you don't get bored of it when you're playing well.
No, I can imagine
you don't get bored of winning. Bored.
If I hit the ball like Scottish Sheffler, I wouldn't never get bored. But
going back to you, so you do when you're
and it's not very often. It's more.
I don't think it's boredom, is it?
No, it's more like I think potentially audience, and I don't want them to, possibly don't understand the intricacies of going out and playing golf, filming for so many days in a row. I think if it was just going out playing golf with a couple of mates or whatever, I could probably play 10 days in a row. But trying to film and talk about every shot and, go through the process, and often, and it's really nice, we'll go to new golf courses, and often we get a lovely welcome from golf courses, and they want to show you around the golf club, and they want to show you, the history of the golf club, and it's that entertaining side of things, and you almost always have to be on. For me, like certainly going out filming. So it's not the boredom. It's probably, it's a good way of, it's more the energy levels are drained by the end of a filming week. Like there's a couple of times after I'm like, I'm done. I'm like,
I don't want to talk to anybody.
I'm just, let me drive home, and I'm going to not talk to anyone. And even when I get home, like my wife, my kids, Rick, you had a good week. I'm like, just silence, please, just no words. But yeah, that's probably just the talking side of the job. And then, like say, if you're playing crap, it's not fun, is it?
No, it's tiring. I used to find it was tiring mentally, and then if you weren't playing well, you were maybe struggling a bit to sleep. You were struggling to switch off. It was the taking of the golf home with you, and I think that's why Scottish Sheffler does so well, because I really do think he leaves golf at the door when he walks in. It's
mad. Any fun stories from presenting work?
Oh, let me have a look.
That you're allowed to say on air?
Oh, I had a good one at Troon, actually. So I was doing the radio with a man called Marcus Buckland, who's a fantastic presenter. He does many sports. And we're on the first tee down the right-hand side at Troon. And we're doing a preview show of what's going to come up. A couple of players are obviously teeing off. It's going all day, isn't it, Troon? And I can't think who it was. He had quite an aggressive practice swing. Oh, Brandon Todd. His practice swing on the first was, most people's practice swings are just quite smooth, aren't they? And Marcus started to commentate on it. He's not hit it. And the ball's in the air, it's coming down the right-hand side. And the marshal looked round at us. I think he looked round at us to say, why are you talking? But Marcus thought it was because the ball was coming. And he said, everybody duck, everybody duck. And I just start laughing. And he's like, what? He goes, I said, that was his practice swing. He's not even hit yet. He's like, you're joking, aren't you? Like this. So, yeah, Marcus Buckland commentated on a practice swing. That was quite good at the Open.
Have you ever had any...
I fell over at Centurion this year.
How? What do you mean?
Well, I was on course commentating and I was backing up, pulling away from the green so the players didn't hear me. And, the advertising boards just fell over the back of one of them.
A lot of people see you?
A few people saw me. I don't think they caught me on camera, but there was, obviously I was talking and like this. So. How
do you perfect your pronunciation of players?
There is, if you go onto the tour websites, so if you go, for instance, on the Ladies European Tour at the moment, click on their profiles, next to their photo, they'll have their age and their name, and then there's a button that you press, and the players have said their name on it.
No way.
Yeah.
Is that just on the LPGA?
Well,
Ladies
if
Tour?
You look on the Ladies Tour.
I've never seen that on the Gents Tour. And it's the player themselves saying their own name?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Something new. Who's the hardest name to pronounce of all the any player? Put you on the spot.
Punjari Ananarukan. And she wins as well.
Say that again.
Pajari, that's fine. Ananarukan.
Wow.
So it's like, I always think it's like saying Ayanana. Anana. So it's Yanana Rukan. But with the ties, at least you can break it down. So Patti Tavatanakit, it's very easy. But when you've got the French and you have to, or the Spanish, yeah. So, this one I get wrong all the time. And Kate always picks me up on it. Thankfully, she'll be going into retirement soon, so that's good. Mariaho Aribe.
I would really
I always get stumbled on is Alazabal. I don't know why. It just doesn't ever come out of my mouth the way I've...
Well, Ludwig gets me.
Yeah, Ludwig,
how do you say his name?
Ludwig Oberg.
Yeah.
Oberg.
Ober.
Ober.
No G. It's not even Ger.
Ober.
It's not even a Ger in the end. I'll say I'm terrible already.
So, yeah, the Colombian. So I used to play golf with...
I couldn't do live commentary.
So I call her MJ because it's just easier, and everyone just... Because as a kid, like when we were playing golf, she was MJ, but obviously she won this year in New South Wales Open. And as much as I'd have loved to have commentated on UMJ, I was kind of glad because that would have been a struggle.
That I would really, really struggle with that. So happy birthday. Play well at Raw Portrush. I'm sure you will. Enjoy yourself. What do you reckon you've shot today? What are you counting? Are you just having a bit of fun?
Last time I played Portrush, I had a hole-in-one. My very first hole-in-one on the downhill par 3. So I'm hoping, obviously, to replicate that. To get my own back on... Like the
14th or something?
Get my own back on 17 and 18 for you.
Thanks.
Playing all right at the minute. So I would like to be level par or better.
I love that. So have a wonderful time. Thank you so much for stepping in as a super special co-host. Your expertise is always very, very, very valued from our wonderful listeners. Guys, make sure you follow Sophie on all of our social media. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Have a wonderful week. We're making a bold prediction that Charlie Hull and Georgia Hall are currently leading going into the final round of the Ladies Olympic individual tournament. So good luck to them as well this weekend. Thanks, everyone. Peace out. See you all soon.